This video is going to show you what a protractor is. So a protractor is a tool that we use to measure the degrees of an angle. You'll notice that this side of the protractor is a straight edge, and then along the top is a curved edge. Also along the top, you'll notice a line with two sets of numbers, a set of numbers going along the top of the line and a set of numbers going along the bottom. Notice that this set of numbers going around the top is starting from smallest to largest over here. And then on this side at the bottom, it's starting at the larger number and going down to the smallest number. It's not labeled here, but this would actually be 0, and then 10, 20, and so on. And this other outside part would be 180 degrees, and then 170, 160, and so on. This video is going to show you how to use a protractor to find the degree measures of an angle. So we have our same protractor here, and now we have an angle drawn. Just as a refresher, an angle is made up of two rays. It has a point where the two rays come together, and that is called the vertex. So the vertex is going to be very important in finding the degree measures of the angle. We want to line up this circle right here in the center of the protractor with that vertex. So I'm going to place that point right in the center. You'll notice that it is not the bottom of the protractor, it's where that circle is. Okay, now that my vertex is lined up, now I need to find that point, that line earlier that I talked about that's really 0, and line that line up with the bottom of our angle. So again, you'll notice the angle is not lined up with the bottom of the protractor, it is lined up with the bottom of this line. Now that I have my angle lined up correctly, I can look to see its degree measures. Now remember we talked about how there are two sets of numbers here. There is a bottom set of numbers that's smaller numbers, and a top set of numbers that is larger numbers. Both of these can show the degree measure of this angle. It's my job to figure out which set of numbers matches this angle. Well, this is an acute angle. That tells me I know that its degrees are going to be less than 90. So my bottom set of numbers, my line is between 40 and between 50. So it looks to be at about 40, let's say 9, between 40 and 50 at 49. The top set of numbers shows it between 130 and 140. So that might put that set of numbers, or that line, at about 131. So I'm going to write those two down so that I can remember them. This angle is either 49 degrees or 131 degrees. Now earlier we said we know it's an acute angle. We know acute angles are less than 90 degrees, so the number that matches this angle is 49 degrees. Now we're going to practice finding the measure of this obtuse angle. We're going to do the same steps, starting with finding the circle in the protractor and lining it up with the vertex of the angle. Then that second step was to find the line, the edge of the number line, and line it up with the bottom ray of the angle, like that. So now I need to go check the other ray to find those two sets of numbers that ray is in between. So just like last time, I'm going to write them both down. The top set of numbers is showing this ray to be in between 20 and 30. Probably it looks to be at about 26 degrees. The bottom set of numbers appears to be in between 150 and 160. Let's see, it's on this side of 155, so it's probably about 154. Now, my angle this time is clearly an obtuse angle. It is larger than 90 degrees. So for that reason, I know it cannot be 26 degrees. I know that my correct degree measure is 154 degrees for this angle. You already know from class that this is an example of a straight angle. As a reminder, a straight angle measures 180 degrees. Let's test with our protractor to see if this is true. If I follow my same rules from earlier, I line up the vertex with the center circle, and I line up this line here with one of the rays. So now I can see that one end of my angle is at the 0 and the other end is at 180. So it makes sense that this straight angle measures 180 degrees. Now if I were to draw a 90-degree angle in between them, I would have perpendicular lines. Let's test to see if this angle is 90 degrees. I line up my vertex, line up the edge, and this line is going straight through the center of the protractor at 90. So that's how I know that each of these angles measures 90 degrees.